Hello everyone, I'm T-West and welcome to a game in Masters of Arena 4. This is the quarterfinals, and here we have TeRRoR playing as his Jon Snow nickname, as the Persians in the green, and on the other side of the map we have Melkor playing in the red as the Goths under his Mateus nickname. And this game was random civs, and it looks like Mateus got the Goths and TeRRoR got the Persians. So this should be an interesting matchup. They will switch saves in the next game, and this is game 1 of a best of 5, or no, of a best of 7. And let's take a look at their maps. So Melkor, very nice for him. His gold and his stone are in the back. Has an extra gold in the back. His other gold is pretty far forward, so is his stone, and another gold near the front of his walls. So two very nice resources and gold in the back. It's a pretty good map for him. Meanwhile, TeRRoR has back gold, secondary gold in the back, and an extra gold in the back. So very nice for him as well. Unfortunately, his 2 stone mines are pretty far forward, but as the Persians, not the most important resource for him. His other gold is forward though. So very nice positioning of the golds, and luckily both his boars and see where his deer. Yep, both his boars and his deer are pretty close to his town center inside of his walls. So he's going to go build a house before luring in that boar. TeRRoR always likes to build houses before luring his boar. And if you look at the relics, one over here, a bit closer to Melkor. These 3 in the middle, this one definitely a bit closer to TeRRoR, but then this one out here also a bit closer to Melkor. And the extra stone over here in the corner, along with the extra berries. And that boar just sitting there waiting for the sheep villagers to finish up. Does decide to run outside the town center though. And let's check their scouting. Jon Snow hasn't scouted the back, but he sees he has his gold back there. And he pretty much sees the location of all his resources. Melkor hasn't scouted his back yet, but he does at least. He has seen the corner of TeRRoR's base, so he knows that they are pretty close. TeRRoR has ran a scout around the outside of Melkor's base. Of course, he probably will want to do that again in the feudal age, because the scout will have more line of sight then. As Melkor brings in his deer unfortunately were outside of his walls, which, as the Goths, he's not going to be able to stonewall that back up. He's going to have to put a house there. And the deer is going to run back. Unfortunate for Melkor. Going to have to use the scout to push it in again, and finally going in through the hole. TeRRoR's deer, meanwhile, are a bit easier for him to lure nice and inside of his walls. As he's now going to his gold mine, he's gonna build a house and then mining camp with that villager. As the rest of these villagers is taking sheep underneath the town center. Melkor, similar from him, both players on 25 population, so pretty close so far. Now he's just going to build that house and clear up that hole in the wall, block it up, make sure nothing's going to get in there. As he's finishing up his sheep and his deer, both players going up on 26 population. Melkor a few seconds ahead. And now adding in some farms. And TeRRoR now starting to add in farms as well, so 5 on berries, 2 on gold, 4 on each lumber camp, and the rest on food under the TC. And let's see, Melkor only going up on a single lumber camp, so he will save 100 wood, but this wood line will start to get a bit more inefficient more quickly than TeRRoR's wood line. Also chopping wood from these straggly trees, and we'll see what he decides to go with. Definitely Market Blacksmith, because he hasn't put down a barracks yet. Okay, and where is the blacksmith? Right there. And same thing from TeRRoR, Market Blacksmith. Now adding more villagers to gold. Looks like he'll go up with 4 on gold, so we might be seeing some aggression from TeRRoR. We'll see, he might try to build the monastery forward, try to take control of these relics. Melkor, looks like he doesn't quite have the food to click up. And there we go, finally. So TeRRoR will be a bit ahead, clicking up to castle. But Melkor did make one more villager there. So 29 to 28 population. Scout fight going on. TeRRoR is going to bring the villager forward, but the scout isn't going to run in. and adding more villagers to gold. So it looks like TeRRoR definitely is going to look to get aggressive here. Bringing some berry villagers forward, and looks like putting down a couple of houses, giving him the pop space to get aggressive, and he's going to put first monastery inside of his base and a siege workshop. So he's going to look to make some monks and either some rams or some mangonels. This house would be a good area to pressure because the house only has half the HP of the stone wall. Gate's also a good area to pressure because it's so wide and it's harder to wall up behind it. Although Melkor would have a pretty good wall down here in this section of his base. And Melkor is just going to go straight for a boom, putting down 2 town centers and not even making a monastery yet. Meanwhile, TeRRoR is going to stay on 1 TC, add in some farms, probably deleting that farm to have the wood to make the siege, another mangonel from the siege workshop. As he's coming out, going to start collecting these relics. And Melkor's scout, not going to do anything about that yet, and we'll see has Melkor scouted this. Not unless he's scanning with the palisade, and there we go, he's going to get alerted to the mangonel firing at his gate. As TeRRoR is just doing a bit more scouting. And he's putting down the town centers. Monastery, there we go, monastery at the front. No siege workshop yet from Melkor. So he will have to build one to make some mangonels in defense if he does want to go for the mangonel defense. And gonna delete the scout so that doesn't get converted as TeRRoR continues to collect up those relics. And where is this monk from Melkor gonna go? Is it... Might go for this relic over here, but TeRRoR's going to send his scout there, and Melkor is going to see that scout. He's going to know the scout's in that location. Might try to get the convert on it, but the scout can just run away. And it looks like TeRRoR's going to come down and actually try to pressure in through the house. That'll be good because it'll put him in range of pressuring these town centers, as Melkor now puts up the siege workshop to go for the mangonel defense. Gonna try to get a convert on that scout and push it away. Let's see if he's able to get this relic, as the mangonels are gonna make short work of that house. It's 3 mangonels, and as the Goths, he's not really gonna be able to wall behind that too well. Could try to wall here and funnel him into this area. But now, getting house briefly, putting down a house back here. Is TeRRoR still on 1 town center, but adding in the 2nd and 3rd town centers. So he's not going to be going all in. He's going to try to boom up behind this. He's about 8 villagers behind, but if he can get some good pressure and get some idle time, he can make up for that, especially since he does have the relics. And it does look like he's going to be able to collect at least 4 of them, if not all 5 of the relics. And putting some pressure, taking out this house. And right now Melkor doesn't have anything to defend with, needing to build more houses in the back. Could potentially lose his blacksmith, as TeRRoR now adding in some more farms, really gonna start amping up that villager production. And mangonel now out from Melkor, and we'll see if TeRRoR is paying attention. Let's look at his view lock. He's managing his farms at home, and a bit too late, mangonel gets destroyed. And so doesn't even get a shot off at that mangonel, loses 1 and gets some HP lost on 2 of them. Probably could have that villager repair, but he does have the mangonel lead just because he'd been producing them for longer. And now 4th relic coming in, and looks like Melkor did manage to get 1 of the relics. So 4 relics for TeRRoR, 1 for Melkor, as more mangonels come in. Villager, it's nice that he has a forward villager to repair, and that he's already forced Melkor to delete the scout, so the scout's not going to be able to snipe anything. And he needs to be careful with his scout that it doesn't run underneath TC fire, but with these mangonels now running, right in, only doing 5 damage, that wasn't a good trade. Now the villager's going to have to repair. And running underneath the town center, losing the mangonel, and still not killing it. That's some really good mangonel micro from Melkor, managing to take out 1, 2, 3 mangonels. And now TeRRoR is down to 1 mangonel, but he's building another forward siege workshop, and he needs to spot and react to this mangonel. He can't afford to lose another mangonel. Picking off a couple of villagers because Melkor still doesn't have loom, and mangonel gonna take only 3 points of damage, still staying alive, getting a better shot off, but that might almost dead right now. And they might trade here. Yeah, they trade. Another mangonel coming forward from TeRRoR, but he does have now a forward siege workshop. He will be able to make some mangonels from that siege workshop and get some really nice pressure onto these two TCs of Melkor. Really hopefully cause some idle time and get a few villager kills. We see he is closing the gap in villagers now. He's only down by 5, or well, now back to 7, but not that big, and he does have a very nice boom going at home. Melkor, this TC is idle, but still trading mangonels, so trading pretty evenly here. And Persians do have a nice bonus with their faster working TCs. Goths, their hunters carrying more doesn't really provide much of an impact anymore. But Melkor, he had to invest into taking the stone and putting up this castle. Of course, he's the Goth, so he does want a castle anyway. But now, mangonel fire could kill some villagers. I don't think he'll be able to deny this castle. It's very safe underneath these two TCs, but the mangonels could pick off a couple villagers, get some of the mangonel in that trade. Monks could maybe get some conversions. And now another mangonel coming in. 2 mangonels. These forward siege workshops going to be able to put on a lot of pressure on these castle builders. Getting a few more villager kills right there. And now TeRRoR is about caught up in villagers. Getting out a 3rd mangonel. Probably doesn't want to invest too much into mangonels because they'll go down pretty quickly to the castle fire. And also sitting underneath that town center isn't a good idea. Losing 1 there. Losing another almost. The villager's going to get the repair. Getting a couple more villagers, getting that 1 villager there before she can garrison. But this castle will go up 71%. It's causing a lot of idle time for Melkor's eco, though. This is going to give TeRRoR a very good economic advantage. Even though he's just about even, it's going to be so much idle time and so much time spent trying to build this castle. And another villager, but loses both mangonels underneath the TC. So it looks like this finally will go up. And is he still investing into 2 more mangonels, but he's not going to push forward with them. Let's see, Melkor could snipe 1. He's going to react and gets 1 of them, so trades evenly there. So now Melkor is pretty safe. TeRRoR's not going to be able to push in against a castle with mangonels. But he is up to the Imperial Age. He is on 1, 2, 3 town centers. Meanwhile, Melkor 3 has stayed on 3, adding in more farms at the back. And TeRRoR just now doing loom. Might as well keep those villagers safe. We'll see if he sends villagers forward. Now against the Goths, now the Goth has a castle, he'll be able to make some Huskarls. Persians do have access to hand cannons, so maybe we'll see him go for the hand cannons. University right now, probably for chemistry right when he gets up. Let's see, does he have a barracks yet? No, doesn't have a barracks yet, so we'll need to see if he puts down a barracks and then some archery ranges. Now doing the economic upgrades, ooh, that's costly. Melkor hadn't done Bowstar until right now. Normally you want to do that pretty much as soon as you hit the castle age, especially if you're booming. And ooh, that's a mistake from Melkor there. And now barracks coming down from TeRRoR. We'll see what units he decides to go with. I'm thinking hand cannons are probably a good choice. And we'll see, is he putting maybe some rams inside the siege workshops? Or no, he's just letting them sit idle for now. And adding in a few more farms. Taking the gold in the back of his base. Very nice that he has that secondary gold in the back. And these 4 relics definitely will help him out. We'll fall behind a bit in villages again since this TC is using its time to go up to the Imperial Age. But now, archery ranges. So, university archery ranges, that probably means hand cannons. Might also see some bombard cannons come out once that chemistry research comes in. Meanwhile, Melkor hasn't started making Huskarls yet. He is adding in barracks, blacksmith, and some more barracks. So probably will be going for Huskarl. Definitely a better choice against hand cannon than champions or other infantry. But now TeRRoR, with this, he has the map control, so he could build his buildings forward if he wants to. Join up with these siege workshops, continue pushing in through here. He will need something to take out that castle. And chemistry coming in for him right now, 20% done. And after that's done, we'll probably see some hand cannons and some bombard cannons. Hasn't made any rams yet, so it looks like he is going to be going for bombard cannons. And we'll see if he does the blacksmith upgrades for the hand cannons. Of course, the hand cannons do benefit from the archer armor upgrades, and those are the only ones they get from the blacksmith. Let's see, still hasn't scouted this extra stone though. Let's check Melkor's scouting real quick. Looks like he missed both his gold over here and his other stone. Probably can guess he has a gold here or over here just because those are the only areas he hasn't scouted. He hasn't scouted the gold in the back either. Would be nice to know there's a pile of 3 gold there. And now archery ranges, more archery ranges on the front, and chemistry about to finish. And yep, there you go, leather archer armor doing the hand cannon armor upgrades. So they'll start coming out as he goes over to stone. That'll be good to get some trebs or conscription if he has a castle, but Persian's probably not going to go into war elephants, especially not against Goth halberdier. But that's a lot of barracks. It's going to be a lot of production, and we'll have to see. Already on 5 archery ranges for hand cannons, but the Goths will be able to produce a lot. But Melkor is still not up to the Imperial Age. He has a lot more villagers, and he will have the stronger economy. Adding in a lot of farms, he's going to need a lot of farms for that production, so it looks like he's going to try to stay castle for a bit and just try to push this back in the castle age. So Huskarls, of course, not elite Huskarl. They do have that 7, like 6+1 could get the +2 defense upgrade in the castle age. But now Bombard Cannon's going to come out and start pressuring that castle, and TeRRoR needs to keep them alive because they're so costly. Huskarls could run forward and take them out before TeRRoR has the massive hand cannons he needs to defend them. But Melkor's just going to sit back right now, and these two, even though they're undefended, going to get some good hits on that castle. And if that castle goes down, let's check Melkor's stone. He has enough stone for a second, and he's going to be able to repair it for quite a while. He can repair against 2 cannons, but as TeRRoR adds in more, it's going to get harder and harder to keep that castle up. And he will need it for the Imperial upgrades. He can produce the Huskar from the barracks now, but for that creation suite upgrade, he is going to need the Imperial Age. Now, even doing block printing, monks, of course, are a pretty good counter to Huskarl. But once the Huskarl are massed enough, they can take on fights with monks. But, this is a pretty interesting building placement from TeRRoR. He's gonna build some houses and kind of wall up and prevent the Huskarl from getting to his cannons. Looks like he will lose a cannon here, unless those hand cannons can get some good shots on the Huskarl. But, let's see. Yeah, looks like he's going to keep that cannon alive, using the hand cannon to snipe the Huskarl. That's some unfortunate pathing going around the front of the siege workshop, but it's going to stay alive. Probably should prepare it with the villager. And he's going to use these houses and these buildings just to create a narrow funnel to stop the Huskarl from getting to his hand cannon. It's going to make it harder to get the bombard cannons to get in range of the castle, but it will be able to take out that barracks and still hit some buildings. Melkor able to repair, now finally up to the Imperial Age, doing forging, getting the rest of the blacksmith upgrades for his Huskarl. And that's a pretty big massive hand cannon from TeRRoR. And we're going to need to see a lot of Huskarl to be able to push into that. TeRRoR just slowly adding in archery range after archery range, now up to 7 ranges, and he's going to be able to produce lots of hand cannon. And we'll see now, bringing the bombard cannons around this side of the siege workshop, putting up some more houses, just making more obstacles, making it harder for the Huskarl to get in against the rest of his units. And Melkor just doesn't have enough to engage right now, especially not in these tight spaces. Bombard cannons going for the house, that probably wasn't the intent, really needs to focus on the castle. But now, TeRRoR, let's see how many cannons he has, up to 5 bombard cannons right now, having a bit of trouble pathing their way around these buildings. Would have been nice to have the buildings maybe a bit further forward, create more space to shoot at the castle, but now that's 7 bombard cannons. That castle isn't going to stay up much longer. Melkor slowly, he's going to be bleeding out of stone, and he really needs to... Looks like that's going to go down. Probably should stop spending the stone on that castle. Instead, just build a castle in the back somewhere, just so that he can get the Imperial Age upgrades. But now it's a lot of bombard cannons. It's going to put a lot of pressure on that castle. And can these Huskarl take a fight? Can they kill these bombard cannons? That's a lot of gold invested in those bombard cannons, with the hand cannons behind them. So many of those bombard cannons going down. Looks like there's only 2 left, but there are 3 left. That one, on 2 HP, doesn't quite go down, and the villager can repair it now. And that's a lot of hand cannon left. More bombard cannons just coming out, able to replenish his losses with these forward siege workshops. These two out of the way, but the hand cannons are going to come over. And Huskarl, could they pick one off? No, they're going to have to retreat. They took a lot of fire there. And that TC, Another couple of shots and it'll go down. Even using the bombard cannons to snipe some units from behind, and this is a really strong push from TeRRoR. And now Melkor putting a castle in the back. We'll see as he elite Huskarl. That will help him engage the hand cannons, give them a bit more armor to protect against the hand cannon shots, but hand cannons are just so powerful with their attack bonus versus infantry. Bombard cannon. These bombard cannons have a bit of pierce arm, so if you move them a bit too far forward, they don't die instantly to town centers. And another town center for Melkor going down, and we see TeRRoR now has a huge villager lead of about 20 villages more. And I don't know if there's much Melkor can do to stop it at this point. He's not able to produce the Huskarls he needs. Villagers all bunching up on top of this wood back here, running out of room. So many farms in the back of his base, but he's slowly losing ground to TeRRoR, and now a castle coming up from TeRRoR right in the middle of Melkor's base. And nothing really Melkor can do here. He's down in military. He can't get to that castle. No way he's going to be able to stop it from coming up. Trying to move out to the side a bit. That's good. We'll see. Has TeRRoR seen this? No, he hasn't scouted that. But TeRRoR, he has walled Melkor in down here. That'll stop him from getting out to that gold, especially with the rest of his army here. So only place Melkor can go to move his eco is out here, as long as TeRRoR doesn't spot that. But he can see the farms and the villages there now with these hand cannons who are over here, denying him of his gold, and doesn't look like Melkor. Just this very unfortunately placed gold right in the middle of the forest there. Can't really get this around on that with the villagers that he needs. Gonna try to engage. Bombard cannons are a bit forward. Could lose a couple of them. But so many Huskarls just dying to the hand cannons. That's quite a few bombard cannons going down, but 3 of them still alive. 2 of them still alive, but more of them will come out of these siege workshops. More barracks coming down from Melkor, trying desperately to push back this massive hand cannons. But now that forward castle is up. He can now TeRRoR is doing conscription, so his production will be even faster, and just has enough archery ranges. Nice use of Huskarl in the back to cut off reinforcements from these archery ranges, but there's just too much army here, nothing Melkor can do to push into it. And there's the GG. What a great push by TeRRoR, putting the pressure on in the castle age, forcing some idle time on Melkor's eco as he had to put up that castle in defense, and then just making sure that he had enough hand cannons that he could defend his bombard cannons from the Huskarl while he pushed in. GG. Let's go take a look at the achievements. Let's see. Oh, yeah. TeRRoR doing a great job keeping his units alive, taking very cost-effective fights with those hand cannons, killing so many Huskarl, and getting up to the Imperial Age first, just so he could get out those hand cannons more quickly, mass them up, and a lot more relic gold too. Alright, thank you all very much for watching, and I'll see you in Game 2.